the Mingler. I could see you getting up at 5 a.m.
The Mingler.
And then going from campground to campground site and seeing what people are doing and having drinks and Bloody Marys.
What's up for breakfast
talking.
at each campsite?
All the way down until the gates open. Is that accurate?
You're right. And everyone's sleeping in the camper, so I'm like...
This is you, this is me, this is us, and this is the Fest podcast. Jared.
Yes.
You're excited tonight.
I am. I've had numero dos coffees. I'm working on coffee number 3 at this point.
You even went live on Facebook. What's up with that?
I'm trying to get some interest.
Jeez.
Build it up.
Interest in you? I think everybody's interested
in us. This, the Fest, our podcast. What's the intro that we talk about? You, me, and everybody else.
I just said it, Jared.
I fell asleep.
We got our boys from Life Jumper Media with us again.
Our audience.
Jacob.
Trace.
That's
Trace. Jacob's over there. They switched spots today.
That's good. Right. Different view, different angle, different creativity.
Different creativity.
I like it. Let's sound check this sucker, Jared.
All right. So we got the Indie Country Fest update this week. We've got a couple things we're going to talk about.
Those will be fun.
Yeah, they'll be fun.
I'm excited about that.
We got some updates on our bet.
Ooh. Yeah. Was that a little nugget right there?
Just a tad. A small nugget. Is that spoiling anything?
Not yet.
Since you always accuse me of.
I don't know if it's accusing, if it's accurate.
It's fairly accurate.
I would say objection.
A little nugget.
And you can't sustain that.
Objection. Denied. Clap.
We roll into festival news around the world.
We got one from around the world and one just kind of a, would you call it an amorphous topic or just...
I would call it more of a talking back and forth.
I think so.
It's more of a. It's not necessarily news, but it's interesting.
It's
a little legal involved.
A little copyright stuff, a little live stream stuff. It should be interesting talk.
Social platforms.
Yeah,
it'll be good. Listen to that because that'll give you some good info.
Our headliner.
Ooh, the headliner. What?
I don't know what to say. Is it Cowboy Joe?
Everybody knows him around Indie Country Fest as Cowboy Joe. And we'll dig into his history with Indie Country Fest, his own personal life, and what he is doing currently with his own band.
And he's not the mascot for the University of Wyoming or Oklahoma State, right?
I don't know if any of our listeners are Wyoming fans nor Oklahoma State, so they don't know
the mascot is. Come on, that's pretty easy, right? All right, so after the headliner, we're going to roll into Ralphie's top 3.
That should be a good one. I have a good one for him, and it might take, it'll be rather easy for him.
It should be easy.
Yeah. Then stage left, then we get out of here. We talk a little personal. There should be some good topics in there.
I did my homework.
You went to the movies, maybe.
I did go to the movies.
And then I watched a bunch of college football because it felt normal.
And I watched some NFL football because, fantasy football team on the line. The team MVP, 151 points. The Desert Mashies, 77. That's what you get for talking smack on Thursday night when you had 2 Chiefs running. He had Mahomes and he had CEH. And he got rolled.
If you want to hear more about Jared's fantasy football,
I'm going to do my own fantasy football podcast.
Yeah, go to Jared's new fantasy football podcast.
I'm going to call in every team I beat and just talk smack to them for an hour.
Which that'll be launching, I believe, tomorrow.
Next week?
Yep. How do they find this one, Jared?
We got iTunes. So go to iTunes, subscribe, please. Leave a rating, leave a comment. Tell us how awesome we are. We need the subscribers, we need the ratings, and we need the comments. And if you like something or you want to talk about us or leave a comment there, we're also on the other podcasting outlets. Primarily, I guess, if you're a non-Apple person, we are on Google Podcasts. And then YouTube, that's the one we're going to start pushing a little harder. So if you go to YouTube, we want you to we want you to hit the notifications so you know when we're going to have a new video out. We want you to subscribe. And really what we need are comments. The more comments we get, the more we get into the algorithm. And this week, if you're watching, leave something for us. Like it, hit it. Tell us what you liked about the show. Tell us what your top 3 things to do. Tell us what your top Ralphie things to do are.
All right, let's jump let's just jump into ND Country Fest updates brought to you by Lee Jaworski. Find your keys with Lee. Major things happen at ND Country Fest this week. One is VIP camping is almost, well, is it sold out yet, Jared? We're still tallying it up, buddy.
I think there are shenanigans going on here.
No shenanigans because we had a bet. The bet is if it's sold out, then you get to see Jared's senior photo on there. If it doesn't sell out, which odds are it's going to sell out, but if it doesn't, then you'll see my senior photo up there that was actually presented by my wife a long time ago. Jared took a screenshot of it, had it.
Saved. Perfect. It's the best senior photo I've ever seen. There's actually a pretty good story behind it too.
It is,
but
we'll get to
you've
that.
You've had a couple days to tally these votes up and tell me what it is.
Well, it is the political season, Jared, so you always have to, recount them.
Is there Russian shenanigans going on?
Are we in Russia? I don't know.
We're not in Russian. What's the quote?
Where'd it go? Right in the lumberyard, Danny.
Yeah. So
more to come on that. Big things at VIP camping. That baby will be sold out sooner than later, or maybe it is already. Who knows, Jared? I just want to make sure Jared has his senior photo ready, queued up.
I've got both.
Tee it up and roll with it. No, why? I get to pick it, so I'm going to call
you. Get
your
a choice.
wife.
You can have my senior photo, which, or you can have I think it's 8th grade photo, which is really got the Lacoste purple and pink pop collar. It's awesome.
So you sounded way too into your 8th grade photo, so I'm going to go with your senior photo.
Yeah, that's a hot mess, dude.
So that's with VIP camping. Check us out next week because that's when the actually tallied results will come out, and then the photo. Somebody's photo will be up there.
We'll be seeing yours.
They'll be seeing yours, Jared.
Nope.
Your Town Tour. The other thing we were talking about, we're getting ready for our Your Town Tour in North Dakota.
We had some of that talk today about plans and what you might be doing. So.
Well, the team and I, we're getting ready for everything as far as what the tour goes. It's super exciting. What that is we travel around, initially started out where it was just Ralphie and I. We travel around all of North Dakota, 300 different stops in 9 different days. And we go all over and we come out to see you, everybody in North Dakota. We talk to you. We get to talk shop. We did talk about the festival, and we get to talk about what's going on in your world. And we see you, and we have some parties along the way.
Going to build the bigger crew this year?
Huge crew. We have major plans for that. It's super exciting. There's some things that are planned for each night. In the works. It's pretty much in motion.
Could be really cool.
We're extremely excited for this, and that is going to start next year. It'll be February 26th, 2021. It'll go through March 8th, 2021. Now, you may say that's a little too early to release that, but what I say, we get asked already, when are you guys coming through our town? What are the dates? And now we'll give you the towns next podcast.
Next podcast, we're going to have the towns, huh?
The route is a big deal because some people will follow us from town to town and from night to night and what we're doing.
What's the weather in North Dakota like in February?
Last time it was like super nice. It was like 65 degrees.
Was that me?
Probably. Yep. It was 65.
Airplane mode.
$100, Jared. Dish it out, buddy. We had some great stops and great performers last year, but this year it's going to be
so what was the weather like?
Super nice. The weather was nice. It was 65 and sunny the whole time. Roads were great. No snow, no rain. It was amazing.
Maybe I'll come up for at least the weekend.
I don't know. I think it's either in or you're out.
I got to come up for the whole trip.
Either you're in or you're out. You can't just be like, kind of like, oh, okay, I'll, at the end, yeah.
I'll bounce in.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't know
as we get closer.
There's our ND Country Fest updates for this week. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lee.
What sets me apart is I like to interact with my clients a little bit more, maybe just actually become more friends with them than just a client business relationship. I'd probably have to say it'd be Who Hut just because I like the food and my daughter absolutely loves it. I chose real estate because I like to help people and it's fun, it's exciting, it can be stressful, but it's always good to just find a solution to a problem.
All right, there we got Lee.
That was ND Country Fest update sponsored by Lee Jaworski. Find your keys with
Lee.
I like it.
All right, we got festival news from around
the world.
And we're starting off with you. You've been holding this one in your back pocket for a couple weeks.
Yeah, there was a festival that happened in the UK, and it was made with pods. It was stage pods. They wrangled them in to like 5 people per little stage pod, which is usually like basically 2 of these tables and then put together, and there was elevated, and then there was bars
Kind of
around
looked
it.
like a mini boxing ring, kind of with the
But
those
there was
theater ropes marking it off. It was elevated.
and there was a couple hundred of them.
This was at the Alfest in England.
I believe
Yes.
so.
So
I don't think that's.
it says right here, Alfest.
I don't know. I edited that.
So what do you think about that?
So what I do want to talk about on that, there's like a couple hundred of these pods throughout the whole field. I get it. It was social distance. There was only so many people in the pod, all that kind of stuff. So they were controlling who was with who and in and out, but you couldn't commingle whatsoever. For me, I get it. I get the times that was in and where it's at maybe currently, but I mean, man, a festival is a festival. You want to be together. You want to be hanging out with people. You want to meet new people. You want to have some drinks with new people. I want to buy you a new drink because now you're my new friend.
I've got to really like those 4 to 5 people I'm stuck in that tiny little pod with, right?
Right. And a lot of people like to go to these things and meet other people, which you've done. I've
totally.
done. Anybody who goes to festivals or concerts, mainly festivals, because you're through there multiple days.
Yeah, I've been to a Mighty Mighty Boston show 2 shows ago in Phoenix. And apparently I had a really good time. Don't remember a whole lot of it. However, the next day or after the weekend, my Facebook got lit up with a bunch of people that I met up front wanting to be my Facebook friend. I'd apparently passed out business cards, and I got calls from people like, oh, hey, I met you down at the Mighty Boston show. I got a legal issue. Will you talk to me about it? And I don't remember talking to any of these people because I had that good a time, but that's part of the experience, right?
And were you thinking, do I have a legal issue after last night?
Yeah. I would have if I didn't have a good driver. So,
But it's perfect because you go and have a good time and meet other people. You commingle. It's like a togetherness and it's a gathering, right? It's part of the people who love concerts and festivals. It's part of the culture.
well, that's part of it. But again, we're getting back to at least it's some music. You know, what are you going to do? Stay at home and not go watch the concert or the venue, or go be in this pod and actually see some artists perform?
Yeah, I guess it's at that time. Yeah, it's probably something to do right there. It's progress, like
Right.
we've talked. It's progress towards the right direction. But I'm thinking things will change rather quick.
You think?
Well, like we'll talk later on. I mean, look at football's happening. Everything's happening.
NFL's
There's other
going to
stuff
just
going
pave
on.
the way to doing stuff, right?
Well, college football, there's already people there.
Right. And there were some people at the Kansas City game, you know, the only one that had people there, but they had people there.
Yeah, there we go. What do you got, Jared?
So this weekend, I watched a live stream version of my favorite local ska band, the Two Tone Lizard Kings. Love them to death. They've got horns. They got everything.
Horns.
Yeah, they got a trombone. They got a trumpet. They've got just a good horn line.
Oh.
But it's a live stream, right? Couldn't go out. They played down at Last Exit Live here in Phoenix, which is a nice little venue. It was them and 4 guys in the stand, right?
Were you outside of there?
I would have been.
Pounding on
I
the
would have
door?
gone if I could have gone. Instead, I was in the pool with a cigar and a beer, enjoying the music, and it was like an hour and a half, 2-hour show. At the end, they asked people to donate, right? Now, from there, Facebook has come back and said, hey, we're changing the way we're going to deal with live music experiences on your Facebook Lives. So, you know, you've got to have certain things or we're going to be worried about copyright. So, you know, you can't just play pre-recorded music. You can't do certain things in your Facebook Lives, or those could create issues for you and could create copyright claims or strikes and those sorts of things.
But that's not only against the artist. You're talking Facebook itself.
Right. So essentially, you know, with YouTube, when we play or we upload our podcast of what we do, or our video of our podcast, we always get a copyright claim from the 2 songs that we play in, or the
Indie Country Fest commercial.
Country Fest. We have to go in and we have to say we have a license for that. We can dispute that, and then they finally absolve us of that copyright claim, right? So what Facebook is saying in your Facebook Lives, if you come out and we do the same thing, right? Or we play a bunch of live music that's not ours, or we do cover songs, or, you know, let's say you and I are going to do a Cure cover band.
Let's do it.
Right. And so we're going to do a Facebook Live of Cure songs. The Cure might have a problem with that because they want to get some money off that, right? So they might claim that. Facebook might have a problem with that because the Cure is going to go to Facebook Live or Facebook and say, hey, why are you letting these guys play this? So I think they're covering their bases, because when you go and you look at what they say at the end, they said, hey, we understand all these artists are doing live concerts or live streams right now, and this shouldn't affect that. So the lawyer in me thinks that here we have copyright claims. We want to make sure we're protected against this. So if these people out here go and commit these acts, we can say it's been in the policies, right? But if like the Two Tone Lizard Kings do a live stream of their own music, which is pretty much what it was. They played music from their 3 songs. The songs that they normally cover at a live show, they didn't do, right? Which I love a couple of those a lot. They normally play me a Boss Tone song and a Real Big Fish song, but they didn't play those songs, right?
Right.
So they're playing their own music. And so when you're playing your own music, I think you're covered.
Right.
Right. But if you're playing someone else's music or you're playing someone else's pre-recorded music, you've got a copyright problem, and Facebook wants to make sure they're covered in the end.
Yeah, they don't want to all of a sudden have 10,000 lawsuits in one day because somebody used their stuff, they didn't have the rights to it, and all of a sudden they are paying out hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. And then they've got a problem that's rolling in, or they've got to figure out a system to deal with all of these things, which is interesting because on their Facebook gaming site, they've acquired a catalog, or they're in the process of getting ready to come out with a catalog that the gamers or the people that are streaming live on Facebook, if they want to listen to music that isn't found on, that is popular music and not just something that's on like one of these pandemic websites or that is copyright claim free, they're going to have a catalog that they can go in and use that's already been
pre-approved, but probably purchased from Facebook
pre-approved
itself.
Or they've got a license. You know, we dealt with that issue when we first started the podcast because we thought we had a license that may cover some of the songs we were going to use. But the license for podcasting isn't really there yet. It's like this amorphous license that costs a ton of money. So instead, we went directly to Quaker City Nighthawks and just asked them, hey, can we use your song? And,
Well, it wasn't quite that easy, but
it was pretty. You sent them an email and asked, right? And
well, I've had some crossings with them before.
right. You met them and you just asked them, and,
Right.
and that's how we get a license to use those songs.
So if you're an artist, and we have quite a few artists that will be listening and watching this, what you should probably do if you're doing streaming, right? Probably stick to your own music.
Stick to your own music. And if you want us to play one of your songs, maybe
Jared's such a...
send us your clips, send us your license, and maybe we'll talk about it.
But don't tell him. You probably want to talk to me first, because he'll let it out of the bag in advance.
You're just edging me out of my little segment there, huh?
There is our festival news around the world.
ND Country Fest 2021 is coming back stronger and better than ever with headliners Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Little Texas,
God bless Texas.
special guest Leroy Parnell,
What kind of fool do you think I am?
Diamond Rio,
We meet in the middle.
John Michael Montgomery,
Life's a dance you learn as you go.
with much more to come. Plan now to attend Dakota's largest and nation's fastest growing country music and camping festival, ndcountryfest.com, July 8th through the 10th, 2021 at New Salem, North Dakota.
Sponsored by Coors Light, Action Motorsports, New Vision Security, Trans Trash, Smithworks, and American Family Insurance, DJ Coulter Agency.
All right, we're heading into our headliner,
Should
which
we
is...
make sure he's there?
Yeah, check. Well, not quite yet. There he is. We're heading into our headliner spot, brought to you by Bruno's Pizza. Any large at $15.99. You can order online at brunosnd.com. Chase that flavor. We have today's hot headliner is not only a high school state champion high jumper, a collegiate high jumper champion, a TED Talk presenter, a bike to believe. All of you in the Midwest and Central and all the way down to Florida know what that is, because it raised $250,000 $50,000 for cancer research. And not only is my brother-in-law, but most of the people at ND Country Fest know him as Cowboy Joe. We got Joe Berger on as our headliner today at ND Country Fest. How's it going, Joe?
It is so great to be talking to you, Luke. Chase that flavor. Bruno's Pizza.
You like that Bruno's, huh, Joe?
I love it. Yeah, every time I call, I get to listen to your voice. I hope I didn't spill the beans there, but
So I'm starting to wonder if you played high school sports in North Dakota, if you just weren't a champion or won some sort of record, because everybody that seems to come on here who played high school sports in North Dakota was somebody or something. They all were.
What's the question?
Champions. So
He was.
I know. So is everybody a champion that's in high school sports in North Dakota because there's just not enough people?
Nope, it's called Our Family, right, Joe?
It's
yeah, it's
a bunch of athletes.
That's right. That is right.
You should have saw the pickup games. So we got Joe Berger here, known as Cowboy Joe. Joe, you are the Cowboy Joe hype man of ND Country Fest 2017 and current. Remember that time when we were starting the festival and it was about the week of, and I was like, man, I need an MC, Joe. What do you think about doing Cowboy Joe on as the MC of ND Country Fest 2017? And then I want you to talk about how you first came up with Cowboy Joe, because that's literally what I thought.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, that was the easiest yes answer I've ever had to give. So Cowboy Joe came to be one day when I was on a run. I was training for track in the summertime, and I'd go on runs every day, and I was like, I'd always come up with all these ideas for videos and concept, anything. I mean, and I was running along, and I was like, I got all this cowboy gear at home. I should dress up like a cowboy, and I can also play guitar. So I'll like play something on guitar and like just kind of put on a mantra and put on a character, and we'll see if my followers like it. And I still don't have a lot of followers, but at the time, like I had not even a third of what I have now. And people just loved it. And clearly you did too, Luke. And I did like a couple more little bits, and it was nothing like overly funny. It was just like kind of a nice little funny thing to, I guess, watch. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And then you approached me, actually, even not for the MC stuff, but before, I think it was like August of 2016. You're like, hey, I'm going to go shoot some of these promo videos. Cowboy Joe should come out, and you should like be a part of the festival.
That's right. You're right. We did shoot those, but I didn't. I asked you like maybe the week of to be the MC.
The week of, yeah.
So there seems to be a trend here going on with your friends and family. Is, hey, right up at the last minute, who am I going to rely on to get me through? I need a back house guy. I'm going to ask my big bro. 15 minutes into the show, you realize you need a front of house. You're going to promote Ralphie, I guess. And then your brother-in-law, you're coming in a week before and being like, hey, you ever been a hype man before? Will you, what do you think about doing this?
Well, we did have a cancellation on that.
So you did.
A whole nother story.
You didn't put it
I don't want to mention that.
You don't want to mention it?
No. They know who they are. So,
So Joe, you came in. Had you ever done any hype man stuff before?
No, I've been in front of crowds. I've been in front of a microphone. I've always been like, I guess, pretty out there and outgoing, and I guess I have some stage presence as well. And so it wasn't like a daunting, like, oh, I'm so nervous about this. It was more like, oh, I can't wait to do that. Like, this is going to be the best time ever. So it was, like I said, it was just an easy yes answer, and I didn't really have any nerves at all going into it. And, Luke really helped with that because he helped write content even for like the first year, and he still does. And
he's got his hands everywhere.
Nice collaborative.
Now that you mention it, Joe, I totally forgot that we did those cuts right out under Salem Suit the Big Cow with you doing those. Those are great cuts. I got to find those.
You should put them up.
It was awesome. The MC, what I remember when we were doing that, we were practicing in the garage night in, night out, at like
Really
midnight,
getting ready?
midnight until 2 a.m. And it was awesome. What's a good story that you have or memory you have from being the MC the first night, the first ND Country Fest, which was only one night, but
I'd say it was an amazing time being able to get to know all the artists that year. And I still have my shirt that I wore, but like I really got to know Michael Ray and Kanan Smith, and I hung out with them like all day and all night, and even kept that relationship going past the festival, which was really cool. Like I had gone to Nashville later that summer on a different note with my band, and I ran into Michael Ray in downtown Nashville, and like he was like, Joe, and I was like, Michael Ray.
Nice.
And we ended up, he invited me and my bandmates over to his house just to kick it later that night.
No way.
and you guys hung out all night, right?
Yeah, we hung out all night, and we FaceTimed Kanan Smith while we were there, so that was really cool. It was really nice to see the community come together and enjoy, the music, the food, the beer, and it really gave us a reason to come back the next year as a 3-day and night festival. So I feel like Luke, correct me if I'm wrong here, but the community really had a lot to do with the festival coming back bigger and better the next year and
a ton
continuing.
A ton. It was from the not only us being there the first year and then the second year at the Trust, and then man, it's such a great event and it's clean and everybody is extremely excited about it, not only in the area community but then the whole rest of the state and the region. Well, what's really cool though is about the country music scene and country music performers and artists, that they're very welcoming, like just what Joe said.
Tight-knit community.
Yeah, totally. Didn't know him really from anything. Knew him as Cowboy Joe.
Met him in North Dakota, and now he's taking him back to the house.
See him in the street, and it's like, yeah. Then
that's
it's
awesome.
Yeah, it very well is awesome. The Joe, tell us about the Sweet Home North Dakota song that you perform every year.
Well, the guitar was very much a part of Cowboy Joe from the start. I mean, that's kind of how it originated. And
hey, can you do it real quick? Can you do the intro to Cowboy Joe on the very intro video you did?
It's Cowboy Joe here. I just learned this song about a minute ago. That's exactly it.
We got Cowboy Joe here.
So, Sweet Home North Dakota, what's the song about?
So Sweet Home North Dakota, the guitar was a big part of the act. And I was like, well, I got to bring this on stage and do some stuff. And I've gotten a lot, more serious about singing, but at the time it was still more of a playful, fun thing for me to do. And I was like, man, Sweet Home Alabama is great. Everybody knows this song, but I kind of want to just change a word or a couple words that is going to make it more personable for the festival and that people can really get behind and sing along to. And then I was just like, oh, Sweet Home North Dakota. Why not? I mean, it fits perfectly. Alabama, North Dakota, same number of syllables, same accents, accentuations and stuff. So nice. I went up and it was a hit, and I do it every single year.
And people look forward to it every single year. They're always like, when I'm out and about, they're like, hey, when is he going to go on and sing Sweet Home North Dakota? Because I want to see that. I want to scream it.
Loud.
Oh, it does. The whole bowl just goes crazy.
So, Joe, you have a unique perspective because not only you were the MC, but you also played in a band the first year?
Yeah. My band played the first year, and it was really, I think we actually opened it up.
So what was that like?
Mistaken. It was a great time. I mean, just to be a part of that first year and just to be a part of history, and we had a blast up there and got some free beer out of the deal, and you know.
That's all that matters. Free beer, right?
It was a great time, and you know, my bandmates seriously like loved it, and they'll probably remember that day forever. And yeah, that definitely was one of the highlights, is not only being able to MC it, but also to be able to perform with my band. So.
Joe, let's just jump into your current band, right? You guys signed a deal with Sony. You guys were everywhere,
Yes.
and the current band is Reigns, right? Tell us what type of music you guys are into, and what's going on. What I want to know is what type. Everybody wants to know what type of music it is, and then what were you doing before the pandemic?
And how do you spell it?
Okay, so Reigns spelled Raynes. Raynes.
And it's on Spotify. I can go find it pretty easy. iTunes.
Oh yeah, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, anything where you can stream music. Reigns is on.
Nice.
So yeah, we got 3 songs out right now, and if you listen to it, you'll find that we're very much so a pop band with like folk instrumentation and excuse me. Yeah, folk instrumentation, pop music with, I guess, there's a lot of different elements in it, but at its core, it's pop music.
Who do you sound like?
So, sonically, it's so hard. I mean, it just depends on which song, and I mean, I'd say sonically, we're similar to like a Mumford and Sons Coldplay mixed with like Imagine Dragons, maybe. That's sonically. I'm not saying like we're as good as that or anything, but sonically.
So we were listening to you on the way over, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like Coldplay. My wife would love this music.
Oh, cool. Which song? I don't mean to call you out, but
what song was it, Jared?
I don't know. You picked it. Was it Lemon Drop?
Was it? It was
Second
Lemon Drop.
Yep.
Lemon Drop?
Yep. See, I remembered. I paid attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, tell us who makes up the band, because it's kind of a unique dynamic there, Joe. So tell us a little bit about your bandmates and what you guys have gone through, and all the way up to the pandemic, and then we'll want to hear a little bit during, because you guys kind of were overseas at that time. But go ahead and tell our listeners about that.
How many questions were there?
Matt, Charlie, Mark Race, and myself, we comprise Reigns. Matt and I met in college, I say in 2013, I think maybe it was, like December 2013. Met him at the University of Mary, and I guess I just went up to him one day. I saw him, and he was like, man, this guy looks really cool. I want to talk to him. And then that happened. I think I went up and did like a Matthew McConaughey impersonation to him, which must have been just kind of a little, I don't know what you'd think about it. And then we kept our friendship up over the years, and then flash forward 3 years to my senior year, and we started playing some music, and Matt had been writing all these songs since he's been like 13. That's all he's ever really done. And Luke even knows, back when Matt had stayed with me a couple of years ago, like he just stays holed up in his studio and writes and produces stuff. And
guy's a genius.
That's all he's ever wanted to do.
Guy's a genius. So, and then how did you hook up with your other bandmate?
Yeah. So we wanted to find someone who could have an amazing, like, to just top off the band with just amazing vocals, some great charisma, great stage presence, and hopefully good looks. And we found a guy that had every single one of them. On Instagram, we came across a video of him singing a song, and Matt and I were both just blown away, and we ended up reaching out to him and bonded. Matt was like, hey, do you want to come be in a band in LA? And we have this on the table, and this, and he was like, yeah, I'd quite like that. And within 10 days, he was on a plane.
So he's from
LA,
the UK, right?
A couple of his buddies. Yeah, he's from the UK. He was born and raised in Durham, Durham, England, which is the northeast, sort of near Newcastle, where the Newcastle Brown Ale is made.
So Instagram's apparently where it's at for connecting with artists.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's crazy what it's turning into these days. You can create so many relationships and create so many opportunities just with those social media platforms like Instagram.
Hey, and Joe,
TikTok and whatever have you.
You guys were in Hollywood. You were all over the country writing songs. You were in New York for a while. You're doing all that. You guys were just rocking it out. You know, you do Lemon Drop. You drop Come My Way. You drop Second Thought, which that's my favorite song of your guys' and Rain's. You guys sound amazing. Then you're over in the UK, right? You're about to hit like a 10 gig run. And tell us what happens.
Had so many gigs lined up. We were in the UK for a couple months.
When was this?
And this was in January, February, March time.
Okay.
Of 2020. So, and like Luke had said, we had spent most of 2019 in LA, taking trips to Nashville, New York, just wherever. Been to the UK like 3-4 times. And we were in the UK, and COVID wasn't really much of a thing right away, but it just kept picking up. And we had all these gigs lined up, and we were speaking to some booking agents, and we did actually play a gig in Newcastle.
Sold out, right? Baby was sold out.
Sold out.
Nice.
March, Friday the 13th.
Really?
Yeah.
So like think of that, people. March 13th.
Lockdown Eve.
Yeah. Yeah, Friday the 13th, supposed to be an unlucky day. Here we're selling out a crowd in Newcastle, England.
Hey, how awesome was that?
And and then we're after the day after we took off for London. So went down south to London, and then COVID just took a super large curveball, and they started canceling flights, and they were doing all these travel bans, and it's, we had all these gigs lined up, and it was going to be great. We were going to, hopefully sign with a booking agent and all that fun stuff. But
so did you have to make a decision to stay or get out? Like, how did that come about?
We had spoken as a band internally and with our team, and we just thought it was best for Matt and I to go back to the States. We didn't know what was going to happen, and the deal was they ended up finally doing a travel ban from UK to USA and vice versa.
Right.
The issue wasn't us getting back to the States, because we're citizens. You can get back whenever. That was the terms of the travel ban. The big issue was they were canceling flights left and right. Mm-hmm. So like they were coming near and far in between. And we just decided we better get going. And I think I spent, like, honestly, you guys, 20 hours on the phone with airlines.
What was it like flying back?
Our flights. It was insane. It took 3 hours to get off the plane. Airport. Actually, the airport wasn't. We missed. I remember on social media there was all those crazy photos of like people, shoulder to shoulder, neck to neck.
Right.
We missed that by I think it was literally 12 hours. So I guess that's a silver lining. But it took 3 hours to get off the plane, but it was so lackadaisical because my flight from Minneapolis to Bismarck, there wasn't many people on them, and mine was supposed to be at 11 p.m., but there was one at 9, and it was 8, and I was like, hey guys, can I just get on this flight? And they were like, yeah, we'll change it real quick.
Yeah, it's Joe Berger from Rains, man. Cowboy Joe, get him on.
We've heard of you.
I don't mean to name drop here. So that was kind of funny.
So ever since then, you guys get back to the States. Mark stays over there, and now you guys have been doing, the live writing and then live streaming and all that good stuff, right?
Yeah, we've done live streams. We write I mean, constantly. And we have that deal with Sony, so we do a lot of songwriting, and Matt's always doing stuff, or I'll have an idea and send it to the guys, or Mark will have an idea and send it to us. And then we'll just kind of go from there. And then Matt will finally put lyrics to it. Matt writes the lyrics, and then Mark will get his voice on it. And then Mark and I will do, or Matt and I will do our harmonies and put our instruments on it. And we just got all these demos that we've been cooking up since COVID, the quarantine. And we did release a song.
Nice.
Released Come My Way.
How'd that go?
It's been going good. So we got 3 songs out right now. You guys listen to Lemon Drop,
Right.
as you said, and then it's Second Thought and Come My Way and Lemon Drop. So we released Come My Way during COVID quarantine.
So what's your opinion of live streaming a concert or doing something like that? Luke and I kind of have a little bit of different views, so I'm wondering from an artist perspective, do you feel like you're getting in touch with your fans? Do you feel like you've got to do that to stay relevant? Or
absolutely, yeah.
Would you rather be in front of people?
I think even not even like, sometimes we'll just do like live streams of us just talking. Like, you know how you can do the 2, like on Instagram, you can do dual live streams. You can bring someone in, like Mark and I'll do it, or Matt and Mark, or Matt and I, or whoever. And that honestly gets like loads of engagement, and people love that. So basically anything you can do to just keep in front of people's eyes. And I think that helps a lot. It's a lot better than not doing anything at all. So
it's something.
So people like familiarity, and people like relatability. So if you can just kind of break down that wall, and it can have some good rewards.
Joe, what can the Reigns fans expect for 2021, or what are you hoping to give them?
That's a deep question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we'll be going back to England at some point, and definitely going to release new music. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, we don't have any specifics yet, but definitely going to release new music, and hopefully once things die down, we can start gigging again and
get out there in front of everybody,
people, and playing those live gigs,
selling out crowds.
Yeah, selling out crowds on Friday the 13th. All fun stuff like that. Lots of fun stuff to look forward to in the future. It's going to be great to get back out there again. And honestly, it's going to be great to be with the band, all 3 of us together. It hasn't been that way since March. So it's been a long time.
That's crazy.
Joe, if listeners want to find info about Reigns or even Cowboy Joe, how could they find you guys?
You can follow Reigns at RAYNES, Reigns Music, RAYNES Music. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I got a little Cowboy Joe came out in me.
I heard that.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Check us out. Listen to our songs on all the DSPs. We're on everything. Listen to the Fest podcast.
Nice.
You can follow me if you want, but
do all of the above.
Joe. Yeah, all the above. I will add one thing about Cowboy Joe, that I've been doing I've worked with cattle like my whole life. So sometimes people think I'm a fluke, and I got to tell them, hey,
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, not really. But I mean, I just got kicked by a massive steer just this last Sunday. So I know a thing or two. That's a true story.
Joe, what is your favorite thing you've been doing since the last 4 months?
In the last 4 months, I think my favorite thing I've been doing is, truthfully, this podcast.
Okay, we all know that's a lie.
But I love it.
I think it's been great to just get more in tune with songwriting, and even if it's doing just covers. So being locked up and holed up and not doing many things out and about, I've spent a lot of time kind of refining the songwriting craft and getting really into crafting melodies and even lyrics and coming up with, new, just being creative has been a nice outlet. Obviously it gets tough,
Oh,
it's I'm a social creature. Not everyone is. I am. So it's tough to not have that there. So
right.
I guess it's been a nice, I don't do it to cope with anything, but it acts as a coping thing.
Right.
So I guess that's been my favorite thing the last 4 months, aside from being on the Fest podcast.
We appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, Joe. Thanks for the time. Thanks for being Cowboy Joe a year in and year out. Good luck to Reigns. We're looking forward to the new stuff that's coming out from you guys. I love your music. And that was Reigns, everybody, Raynes.
Thank you guys so much. 2021 can't come soon enough. I am ready. ND Country Fest. Get your tickets now.
Hear that, brother?
Brothers and sisters, I hear you asking yourself day after day, what am I gonna have for lunch? Do I want another burger? Do I need another taco? Brothers and sisters, may I introduce you to Bruno's Pizza. Pizza is the bread of endless possibilities. What can go on a pizza can go in a calzone wrap. Look beyond a pepperoni and 32 pizzas in a snack. If you like heat, try the Lava Hawaiian. Marauder Pizza is also kicking. You need Bruno's Pizza in your life. Let the humble Bruno's Pizza lift you up from your hunger and deliver you into the realm of satisfaction. Bruno's Pizza, 910 East Front Avenue, online at brunosnt.com. Can I get a napkin?
Yeah, we're munching into Ralphie's top 3. Let's see if we got him on the line. Ralphie, are you there, my friend?
Hello?
Hey, Ralphie.
I guess he's there.
Are you
What's up, fellas?
munching on something right there? What are you eating?
I'm not.
Are you sure?
I am pretty positive.
You ready for this top 3?
I am.
We're going to hit it. Give us your top 3 things to do at a country music festival. Let's say top 3 things to do at a music festival.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I would say any kind of event that you can get like a VIP experience or exclusive deal. I prefer doing it that way because you're going to get the best experience, and pushing my way up to the stage, the front of it, get my chest up against that railing, just being a fan, reaching for the artists.
Do you give them your cell phone? Take a selfie with them?
Yeah, I haven't had that happen, but that's what I would try doing.
So that's number 3. What's number 2, Ralphie?
I would purchase merchandise from that year's festival. Just like I would say memories, right? I would definitely check out the food trucks. So like purchase the food and merchandise.
2, 3, and 4 there, or are we separating it out?
Yeah.
So I was looking today. My wife had the week off, so she's been reorganizing our house and our shirts, and she had all of my concert shirts out on our guest bed, and there must have been like 25 to 30 of them as I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear for the podcast tonight. And I'm like, I remember that show. That's a good way. So here's my question.
And you picked the ASU
I went with
shirt?
ASU because I'm missing college football. There's only so many Dropkick Murphy shirts I can wear, right? So
they all mean something to you.
They do. So are you a purchase the shirt at the beginning of the show or at the end of the show?
I would get it at the beginning of the show.
And wear it all weekend long.
I would not wear it at the show.
So I'm at the end of the show because I'm pretty sure I'll lose it if I buy it at the beginning. So
I might not have any money left after. It's
all going on booze or food. Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Number 1. Hold on.
Hit that roll.
I would say lose your friends.
First, you have friends, and why are you going to lose them?
So go to the festival with your friends. Great, hang out with them at the main parts of the festival. But there's a ton of people at that festival that's interesting, that will just, you'll gain memories and lifelong friends. Don't stick by your friends. Get out of your comfort zone and meet people.
I could see you as, actually, I can't see you. I know you are the mingler. I could see you getting up at 5 a.m.
The mingler.
And then going from campground to campground site and seeing what people are doing and having drinks and Bloody Marys.
What's up for breakfast
talking.
at each campsite?
All the way down until the gates open. Is that accurate?
You're right. Everyone's sleeping in the camper, so I'm like, I'll go find someone that's awake.
And you'll hit the Bloody Mary bar in the morning, and you'll just be
for sure
rolling.
Wandering through the campsite looking for a new drink.
Yeah. And then nap time about 10:30.
AM, right?
AM.
AM.
Yep.
AM.
Get your power nap in. Wake up about what, 2?
Get ready to go.
Some more drinks. Get some grub.
Yeah.
Gates
and
open
just
at 4.
try to survive it.
Trying to survive. Get a little hydrated in between.
There you have it, Ralphie's top 3. Ralphie, always a pleasure, my friend, for your top 3. Thanks for joining. That was a good one. I like that. I could see all that. I could see Lose Your Friends. I could see the VIP thing. You and I have been to Darius Rucker before. And and you pushed your way right up there. And I'm like, where's he going, man?
If I was a fan.
Yeah, you love Hootie.
If you're a fan, get to the front.
Thanks, Ralphie. Thanks for joining as usual.
All right, have a good one, Ralphie.
Thanks a lot. Rah, rah, rah.
Rah, rah, rah.
Jared, what's your favorite thing to do at a music festival?
I would be the push yourself. Well, so first thing I do, I hit the bar, get a couple leaded pops.
You drink lead in your pop?
Well, we'll just call them double a goose and tonic and get a couple beers.
Oh, you're a goose guy.
I am a goose
Not
guy.
Not a Tito's guy. Spoken like a true non-country kid.
I'll tell you what. Over the pandemic, I have switched from goose to Tito's. Though, so. But usually, double that, 2 beers and 2 waters. And then I head straight to the front and get right up there. So much so that...
So you and Ralphie would hang out?
I think we would. Like, we'd go. Like, we went and saw the Dropkick Murphys play in Vegas, and we were there with a couple friends of mine. And I'm like, I'm going to the front. You coming? And Heather's like, no, I don't want to get beat up.
Beat up?
In the mosh pit or, up front. I'm going to stay back and hang out. So I go to the front. I'm there the entire show, rocking out. I come back, and my wife is like kind of visibly in pain. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I got a little rowdy around here. And there was a bar separating the 2 areas. And she got shoved up against the bar and got a big old bruise right there.
Ooh, mosh pitting.
Whereas I was up front and nothing bad happened.
You ditched your wife. So you ditch your friends too?
I do too. I lose the friends, I lose the wife. I go straight to the front and have a good time.
Not only is it your friend, it's your wife.
I'm always the big guy, tall guy, protecting the little people around me.
No, you're the tall guy in the front. Everybody's saying, sit down.
Not at my types of shows. All right, Luke, what's yours?
Mine?
And we mixed it up there.
Oh, yeah, you did. Curveball.
You did. You asked me. I didn't ask you.
Oh, sneaky.
No,
I'm the guy. I like to go have drinks. I like to eat. I like to kick back. I would go up to the front, but not normally. Yeah, I like to enjoy the music, enjoy the artist, see him come out and everything. And then I like to people watch too a little bit.
I think I see you as the guy who goes and gets a beer, gets some barbecue, already has his chair there, sets up and just kind of surveys what's going on.
That's what I love. I love it. And I love just like being in the moment.
Because you get the sights, the smells, the sound, everything. Get to watch the guy who's going to go hang out with the mannequin afterwards. See where that guy's going.
I don't like doing that.
All right, so we're going stage left.
Stage left. We're getting a little personal, seeing what was going on in our lives the last week here. And then after that, we're going to get the hell out of here. But
all right.
Jared.
I did my homework.
Did you even go to the show? Did you get scared and like, I'm out of here?
So for our anniversary, we did go to the movie because that's about the only thing you can do in town now. And Tenet. Went and saw that. If you like Chris Nolan and if you loved Inception, I think you'll like Tenet, I still don't know really what the hell's going on. We went out to eat at our favorite little Italian restaurant afterwards, and we're reading through what was going on. Apparently,
After you watched the show.
after we watched the show to make sure. Now the sound in the movie has problems. It's muffled. Like there's a lot of exposition where they're telling you what's going on. So apparently the future hates the past, and they're trying to have war with the past because of climate change. I heard none of that in the movie theater. Like, okay, that makes a little more sense. I will see the movie again if it has subtitles, but it was really more of an experience. We came in, we went to a matinee. There were probably 10 to 15 people in the big Dolby theater. So we were all spread out. There was maybe 2 other people at the other end of the aisle. Everybody was eating popcorn. Probably about the only inconvenience I saw was that there were no free refills on popcorn. So, you couldn't go back and refill that stuff. So I guess the upside to that, I made it through a movie without having to get up and run to the bathroom and come back. So
did the sound wasn't good on purpose due to effect to the movie, or it was really that bad?
It was enough that I hadn't been to a movie in a while, and I'm like, crap, is my hearing really going that bad? Like,
maybe it's you.
And there are times that I wish I could go back and talk to younger Jared when he was going to all these punk rock, heavy metal shows and all that, and be the kid wearing the earplugs. But I was really worried about it. And then, halfway through, I had to lean over to my wife and be like, hey, do you understand what's going on? Did you hear that? And so the sound of this movie sounds great. Like, in a Dolby theater, if there's an explosion or something going across, your back of your seat rumbles all the way through. So the sound's going this way or that way. It's rumbling back and forth. But at times it's just too much. So you can't hear what they're saying because there's too much awesome other sound going on. And so maybe if they brought that down a little bit, bump the actors up. Got on Facebook and a bunch of other people were talking about the muffled sound. So then I didn't feel like I needed to go get my ears checked and get some hearing aids afterwards.
Dolby all around you.
Right. So I don't know. We're probably going to go see another movie this weekend. So
you weren't scared. You felt comfortable.
I felt fine.
It's clean.
Everything
good.
is fine. So that's something to do. We'll probably go see New Mutants. There's not a lot of new stuff out. So I think that's what I'll do this weekend.
Progress.
So what'd you do? More camping?
Got back to normalcy. So watched college football all day on Saturday, all the way to from the start to the end of where Kansas got beat by Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina beat Kansas. Is that really an upset nowadays?
No, because you know what? Coastal Carolina is very good. It's a very good football team. Obviously, Kansas was still, in the rebuilding stage with Les Miles' second year. I was kind of rather disappointed. I was hoping Kansas would rout them because then that means Kansas is a lot better than what they have been. But it was great. It was good. I liked it. I watched College Game Day in the morning.
Oh, did you see your lookalike?
Did all that. A lot of people think I do look like, Kirk Herbstreit.
Totally. We were at an ASU game 1 year. And they had Herbie up on the big screen, green jacket, all that. Heather's like, what's Luke doing up on the screen? And I looked at her and I just laughed.
You're like, oh yeah, he does this on the side.
So college football, I think Big Ten's probably going to play, or at least some of the teams look like they're going to play.
Yeah, that's a little goofy, right? They're going back into their voting and seeing if they're going to play or not. I would assume they're going to go play. Maybe there's a couple schools. It's not Michigan and Michigan State might not.
They have doctors as deans, so they're probably not going to do it.
It's very sketchy, but on the other end, what I liked about watching it felt like even that the fake noise was going on the actual play, but if they didn't show the empty stands or the 20% that was there,
you wouldn't have known.
It would have been like perfectly fine because I felt like the game was actually real. Now it's different for the players because there's nobody there,
right?
But yet these do
it's
count.
like a real full speed scrimmage, right?
Well, it's a real full speed game.
And you know what I noticed from some of the NFL games is that they did a pretty good job with that fake noise, because there were certain times where plays were going on and that you could tell like sound should be ramping up because more and more excitement or trying to stop them on 4th and 1 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt, oh, hey, there's a crowd there. And then they'd show the fake people in the stands. But, what does that say for the Pac-12, right? So the Pac-12 is going to be the only Power 5 conference not playing. My poor Sun Devils are going to be sitting outside while everybody else is playing. Does that make us a Power 4 conference now?
I don't know. That's I don't know. If they don't play, right? So there's obviously conferences that are making all kinds of money because things are happening.
But
there's some that aren't.
Worse for me is recruits, right? So you were a former college football player, right? and I have a school that's playing, right? And I have a school that's not playing, and they're both recruiting me. Which one are you going to go to?
If I am the player, I'm going to the one that's playing.
So even with COVID, you're going to go to the one that's playing.
Well, there's two dimensions on that, right? So I've also been a recruiter for kids for college.
Okay.
So, you can say,
how would you pitch it?
Which way? Who am I? Am I the one playing or am I the one that's not?
So
the team. I'll tell you. I'll be Kansas. I'll work for Les Miles.
Okay.
And then I'm pitching the kid. Let's just say possibly there's
Michigan.
a Big Ten team that's not going to play.
Let's say Michigan. They've got Harbaugh. They've got a pretty good program.
Sure, and they're not going to play this year.
They're not going to play.
But we're fighting for the same kid. And I
Same
know
kid.
we're Kansas and we're rebuilding, but we really love you. But you know what? This is how I'd pitch it. I'd be like, we have been playing now for a whole season, protecting our players and going through this whole process. And we've been playing and we know how the system works from start to finish now, where some schools have no clue because they've never even gone through it. They haven't even done, game day. They haven't even gone through the testing that is involved and the safety and the doctors and all that good stuff. And we already have a year under our belt of experience on that. We know how this works. We have it dialed into the T. Now, do they? I don't know.
But it sounds good. How do you pitch it if you're ASU and you're not playing?
That's a tough one. I mean, you probably have to take certain angles. It depends on the need. Like say you need a quarterback or whatever and be like, hey, you just come in and start competing for the starting job. You could possibly play Pac-12 football next year as a true freshman.
You're talking to you're talking to their parents and like, hey, we're not concerned about the money, I guess. We're concerned about your kid and we don't want them to get sick. We don't want to have those problems. We've got your kid's interest at heart over monetary interest.
You could flip it like that and more of like we did more research. We, maybe the vaccine's out by then and, all that kind of stuff and the therapeutic and we wanted to wait to fully protect.
It's about the only way you could pitch that, right?
Yeah. I mean, it would be tough.
It's driving my friends and I nuts because, in the Pac-12, you've got the California schools and you got the Oregon schools. So those governors are probably not going to let them play. Right. And then we got Arizona. We got ASU, we got the University of Arizona, who was probably happy they're not playing because it was going to be a bad year. But you got Utah and you got Colorado. Utah's had to lay off or furlough their entire athletic department because this is killing them.
The hardest thing I would imagine, for the coaches and the players of the Pac-12 is, why can all those guys play this weekend and I'm not?
UTSA is playing. Come on.
And that's hard.
Coastal Carolina's playing.
But you know what it's creating? It's creating such a great opportunity for all those lower conferences to keep playing and beating these. Like Kansas State got beat by a Sun Belt.
Right, because those teams can't schedule their normal talent, so they're bringing in these other guys that are willing to play.
And not only that, all of a sudden they're on primetime TV.
Right.
On primetime games.
Beating Kansas.
Huge.
Right.
Huge for them.
Huge recruiting, huge all the way around.
But just like anything, there's opportunity and then there's the other end of it too. But with that, the Sun Belt teams this weekend had to be massive opportunity, took advantage of those opportunities because a lot of them won their games.
They hit it.
Big schools.
And yet my Sun Devils are sitting at home. It makes me sad.
It's hard to explain that.
Right. So next week, we're working on something special, maybe?
We got some great things in the hopper. We got some good things, maybe
maybe
probably are one of our best headliners. So we'll see.
We'll see. I'm not going to blow it.
How can they find us, Jared?
They can find us on iTunes. Subscribe, rate, and review, and do it. We'd really like to leave a comment or leave something in the review. If you leave a review, I don't know. What do? We'll read it next week. We'll read the review on here and talk about it and see how it goes. And then on YouTube, if you can, last week it was just bang all the buttons. We want you to do more than that. We want you to leave a comment. What is your number one thing you do at a music festival? So leave a comment below and please subscribe because we could really use those extra viewers. So we know that you're watching us.
Well said, Jared.
Anything else?
No, let's get the hell out of here. We're going to see you at the next podcast. We got some extra things.
The boys want you to throw the papers in my face.
Out.
Are you ready to do that?
Of course I am.
Hold on. Get those papers prepared.
We will see you next week. Hey, if you like this song we're about to play, that's our boys Quaker City Nighthawks on Queso Blanco. Here's to you. Here's to me. You know the rest. And we are